My name is Madeline Etheridge, and I believe that people need to see things from multiple perspectives in order to really understand them. We need to be able to shift our point of view to understand things that are happening outside of us, including in our school, with our friends, and around the world. It is important to realize other people have different perspectives and to try to gain insight into them. We miss a lot if we just think about what is happening to us and don't try to understand what is going on in somebody else's mind. Grasping other points of view helps us be forgiving and understanding, and without attempting to do so, we might be oblivious to certain things going on around us. Being able to see things from other perspectives helps us academically and socially. Being able to understand our friends, classmates, and family is very important. It helps us to be better friends and all around more compassionate humans. For example, if something is going on between you and your friend, being able to understand the situation and what you might have done wrong can help resolve problems and mend your relationship with the other person. Once I was in an argument with one of my close friends, and both of us thought we were right about the issue and that the other person was wrong. We were stuck until we were able to see things from each other's perspectives. We were able to realize that both of us had done something hurtful and resolved our problem. I finally understood how I might be wrong. If I hadn't realized my wrongdoing, it could have led to a bigger problem, and we might not be friends anymore. If I had just realized or talked to her about how she felt, our problems would have been solved much faster and easier. Often, it is harder for us to realize our own flaws than it is to notice what others are doing wrong. But we need to realize that in most conflicts, both sides have contributed to the problem, and we need to see what others are feeling and face up to our part of the blame. It is difficult to understand what is going through other people's minds, but it is important. When I'm playing softball, I need to think about how other people on my team are feeling. Nobody is perfect, and during softball games, people make mistakes a lot, myself included. It is so easy to miss a routine ground ball or swing at a bad pitch. Even though I know nobody is purposely trying to make an error, I still get upset and frustrated. I should try not to get upset though, because if I make a bad play, I wouldn't want people frustrated and mad at me. One time at a tournament, I missed a pop fly that I should have caught. Because I missed it, the game went way longer than it should have, and everybody was exhausted for the next game. I felt awful and could tell that a lot of people were disappointed in me. I felt like I had let everybody down, and everything wrong that had happened in that game was my fault. It was an awful feeling. I learned from that experience that most of the time when someone makes a mistake, they know what they did wrong. It doesn't help to point it out or make them feel worse. Because I've been in that situation, now I try to lift other people on my team when they make mistakes, and not unintentionally bring them down. It is very important to take a step back sometimes and look at things from a larger perspective. I have been in many situations where I benefited from thinking about how other people were feeling. One example is when I joined St. Matthew's. It was hard to adjust to the new environment. I didn't have many friends, and I didn't know anyone because nobody from my elementary school was going to St. Matthew's. I knew there were other new kids, but somehow I thought I was the only one who felt like an outsider. I realized later in the year that I wasn't the only one. Everyone needed time to adjust to the change in class size. I assumed the people who had been at St. Matthew's since they were very little were comfortable, but even they needed time to adjust. Rather than isolating myself or feeling sorry for myself, I needed to see things from other people's perspectives, not just my own. I was being a little selfish and not considering how other people felt. I was joining a new environment, and I realize now I just needed to see things from other people's perspectives. Even though it is important to be able to try to see how other people feel, it is also important to know that we can't read anyone's mind. We might think we know what someone is feeling, but they could be thinking something completely different. The best way to truly understand someone's perspective on an issue is to talk to them. We need to use our imagination and have empathy when trying to understand what someone is going through. And we need to remember in the back of our minds that what we are thinking may not be what they are thinking. It is great to ask your peers and family members how they are feeling to truly understand the problem they have. In the passage that Callum read for us, the people in a church are separating and going into groups of the rich people and the poor people. The wealthy church members have large feasts, while the poor people do not get any of the food, besides one tiny piece of bread and a sip of wine during the Eucharist. Paul tells the rich people they should be ashamed for separating and not thinking about how the other side feels. The rich church members failed to see how the poor people of their church felt excluded and how it divided the church. The poor people might have felt ashamed for not having anything and not being able to join the large meal. They are upset because they are not able to eat at the church or at home. The rich people need to see other people's perspectives and not just think about themselves. When the rich people realize how upset others are feeling, they can fix their mistakes and everyone can eat together. Seeing other people's perspectives is very important. Being able to think about how others are feeling is a challenging but a helpful life skill. We take it even further when we have the courage to ask someone about their perspective. Perspective is a skill that everyone can always use and improve on. We need it during sports, group projects, and in class, as well as with our friends and family. We will need to use this skill all throughout our life when interacting with other people in order to be effective leaders and have meaningful relationships. Thank you.